Hello EFD squad and welcome back to the UCL review, where today it's me and Zach Jellab discussing the best of the Champions League action from last night. And what an action-packed night it was. Liverpool went through, didn't they, Zach?
Yes, they did. After what was a surprising 0-0 draw in the first leg, Liverpool managed to beat Bayern Munich 3-1 away from home. Liverpool, though, scored all the goals on the day. 2 came from Mane, 1 came from Van Dijk, and the other was an own goal from Joel Matip. Though, that being said, if he didn't put it in, Lewandowski was right there behind him to slot it home. The goal from Van Dijk, though, means that he scored 3 in his last 4 games for Liverpool in all competitions, more than what he'd managed in his first 55 appearances for the Reds. The game, though, was fairly even statistically. Bayern Munich edged possession with 57%. However, Liverpool took more shots than Bayern, 10 to Bayern's 7, and also put more on target with 6 to Bayern's 2. However, the game, in my opinion, also Liverpool's most underrated player, Sadio Mane, came to light. He scored 2 on the day, and the first goal was ridiculous. I think you'll get onto that a bit later when we talk about Neuer. But he only had 2 shots on the day, 2 on target, 2 goals, so not too bad. He also attempted 5 dribbles and completed 5 dribbles. He is now Liverpool's outright highest goal scorer away from home in European Cup/Champions League history with 7 goals. Second is Steven Gerrard with 6. So considering how long he's been at Liverpool and how much they've been in the Champions League recently, that's a very impressive record. He has now scored 69% of his Champions League goals in the knockout stages of the competition, 9 out of 13. And of players with at least 10 goals, that's the second best in the competition's history. Well, I want to know what you guys think. Who is the top one? Let us know in the comments below. It's actually a very hard guess if you get it right. James Milner, who hadn't played against Burnley on the weekend, showed that even though he's 33 years old, he's still got it. He got an assist on the night, made 3 tackles and interceptions, and made the second most key passes on the field. Considering as well, it was kind of a surprise that he started in midfield, and also Henderson came off very early. He had a fantastic night, and since the start of last season, no player has provided more Champions League assists than Milner, who now has 10. Which is, quite frankly, ridiculous.
That is remarkable.
The only downside on the night, though, has to be that Andrew Robertson got a yellow card, which means he's now can't play in the first leg of their next fixture, which is a big downside because we know how important their fullbacks are for Liverpool, especially if they end up pulling someone like a Barcelona. But this win for Liverpool means that 4 Premier League teams have made it to the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time since 2008-09. That's fantastic, and it actually shows how far we've come recently, especially when we couldn't get put through to that for a long time. Pato, how was Bayern Munich, though, on the night?
Yeah, well, while the Premier League seems to be in the ascendancy, the Bundesliga seems to be on a slide down. Bayern are clearly not the force they were 3 or 4 years ago. Out in the round of 16, now they've got to focus on trying to edge Borussia Dortmund for the title. Of course, Borussia Dortmund went out 4-0 on aggregate. So when you consider that Bayern and Dortmund, their only goal in 4 knockout stage matches was an own goal from Joel Matip.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not particularly impressive. Anyway, first time since 2010-11 the Bavarians have failed to make the quarter-finals, which was when they went out at the same stage at the hands of Inter Milan, the reigning European champions at the time. And to be honest with you, they don't really have much to complain about. This was a deserved 100%. Result, I thought. As I said, only goal from Matip. He's only the 4th Liverpool player to score an own goal in the Champions League. Sami Hyypiä, John Arne Riise and Milner in 2018.
Big names.
The other ones. Names. So a little bit of a sad evening for him. And you'd still think that place next to Van Dijk is improvable for Liverpool.
Yes, 100%. I think Joe Gomez is very good, but I do think they could pick on another centre back.
Well, yeah, if he can get fit, then it'll be absolutely fine. Of course, as he said, left-back issue in the next... Maybe we'll see Milner there. I can't think that Alberto Moreno will be trusted in a quarter-final.
Especially against someone like Barcelona or Ajax or something.
Yeah, but then again, this defence kept Bayern to 2 shots on target.
It's very impressive. It's very impressive. I think overall, the XG over 2 games was like 1, and that at like full stop. I think this game... the first leg, it was 0.5 when it was at Anfield.
Yeah, something like that.
Mad.
They got battered overall. And the squad... We've talked about this on the podcast, which you can check out this weekend. But the squad is in a state. The squad is really getting old for Bayern Munich. Neuer, he's the 6th keeper to play in 100 Champions League games. But it's kind of showing. He looks past his best. Like... He kind of half came for the first goal, the Sadio Mane goal. He comes running out.
Yeah,
I think he thinks it's going to bounce straight through. Then he stops because he realised Mane is going to get it. And then he thinks, you know what? I reckon I can get there. What if he takes a bad touch? Goes running out again and gets turned so easily. And even Van Dijk's as well. It's a good header, but I still think
Neuer four or 5 years ago.
It's not that far from him.
Especially
it's down here.
His reactions and reflexes back like a couple of years ago were fantastic, and I believe the best in the world. Yeah, he's definitely showing his age now.
Yeah, I think they need to think about who comes next for Neuer, and obviously a big rebuild is on the cards this summer. Anyway, first time in 13 years without a German team in the quarterfinals. How can Bayern rebuild for next season in Europe? Are they going to win the league? And what does this mean for the Bundesliga overall? Let us know what you think in the comments below. The other big game of the night was Barcelona versus Leone, and Barcelona advanced.
Yes, they did. Barcelona knocked out Leone with a 5-1 home win at the Camp Nou. Messi, as he normally does, got 2 goals and 2 assists on the night, with Coutinho, Piqué and Dembele netting the others. Lucas Toussaint did pull one back for Leon after Barca went 2-0 up, but Fekir and Depay subsequently wasted chances that would have put Leon ahead on away goals. Bruno Genesio's substitution of Cornet for Mendy allowed Barca to rack up the shots, ending with 10 shots on target, while Leon managed just 11 in total. That's including ones that went wide as well. Despite all the attention on Ronaldo following his hat-trick on Tuesday, Messi is the joint top goal scorer in this season's Champions League, alongside the now eliminated Lewandowski, which is mental. And if you think that's mental, get ready for this. He's now been involved in a goal every 43 minutes in the Champions League this season. That's ridiculous.
It's outrageous, really.
It's stupid. And he's also got 62 goals in 61 Champions League games at the Camp Nou for Barcelona. On top of that, he's also passed 35 goals in all competitions for the 11th successive season. The man doesn't stop, Pato.
Yeah, neither do Barcelona. I think since they lost 3-0 against Bayern Munich in that season that Bayern went on and won the treble at the Camp Nou, they've been unbeaten in 30 Champions League home games. They've won 27 and drawn 3. That's the longest ever run in the competition. They actually overtook Bayern Munich last night. And it wasn't just Messi who excelled. It was also a game for kind of the new guard, Coutinho. I think he's got 7 goals in his last 12 Champions League appearances. Dembele obviously got one off the bench. And Arthur had a really good game in midfield. Completed 98.6% of his passes. His best passing accuracy in a game for Barcelona so far. And what a time to have it. However, obviously for Leon, their youngsters, it was a bit more of a mixed bag. It matched their largest ever Champions League loss. But on the other hand, Toussaint's volley brought them to 200 goals in the Champions League, which makes them the first French side to do that. They're 5 goals ahead of PSG currently. I think as well, that young squad, it does bode well for the future if they can keep it together. Only 3 players on the night, their 2 centre-backs and the keeper were over 25. Compared to 9 of Barcelona's starting 11 being over 25.
That's fantastic. That's like...
It's pretty impressive. Levels. And I looked as well at the total cost, the total amount that Leon paid to build this squad, £89 million.
So Paul Pogba?
Yeah. While Barca's £527 million. And that's bearing in mind that people like Busquets and Messi, of course, came through the academy.
That's mental.
It's pretty remarkable.
Fair play.
Like when Ousmane Dembele came off the bench in the second half, he was worth more than the entirety of the Leon team that was on the pitch at the side, plus their subs.
Oh my days. That speaks volumes.
It's pretty remarkable, really, and I really hope that Leon do keep some of these players because there's a possibility that they could build something very exciting. But Barcelona are through, and the question for you, Zach, who do you want to see him play in the quarterfinals?
Oh, I kind of want to see Ajax play either Barcelona or Man City.
Okay.
For again,
the Pep or
yeah,
Cruyff
for the whole
connection.
Pep or Cruyff connection. I just think I also want to see Ajax win the Champions League. Don't think it's going to happen.
Can you imagine?
I mean, it would be ridiculous. Imagine Frankie de Jong though coming to the new camp and playing for Ajax,
having knocked them out of the Champions League.
It'd be fantastic. But who do you guys think the best matchup is going to be in the next fixture? Comment below and we'll, like the best one, maybe. So that's the end of UCL review. Thank you guys for watching. Get ready for tomorrow for Europa League review. Chelsea and Arsenal will be featuring that.
Huge one.
Big games. Pato, what should the fans do now, though?
Obviously, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tomorrow we'll have Continental Club going up, and we've got the podcast at the weekend, actually. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We're looking at who the managerial movers could be in the summer, and of course, we take a look at what Real Madrid might look like now Zidane's headed back there.